Um, we always, the green movement, like most of the NGOs says it's very difficult, we can't work, so we have to select some of the areas that we can go and work. But the green movement always sees that we have to work towards social justice. That is our main task in this thing. So then we make some, we always call that is a 3 C's concept, always make compromise, commitment and consensus. So always when we started working even in the conflict areas, we make a lot of compromises with the rebel groups, lot of compromises with the army and other security groups, and also we do lot of commitments. We bear all these things. If sometimes terrorists says us, you should not go this night, you should stay here, we stay there. If the Sri Lankan government army told us that way, we do that. Even in the rain, even in the very sunny situations, we do that. We always say that it is our commitment towards the communities who suffered from this very, very bad ongoing conflict situation.
What about consensus?
Yeah, that is, I can just explain it with a kind of a small story. Like when we started our tsunami relief work in the beginning, when we thought, okay, we worked in the south, and then we always thought we should go to the north and east. So we went to the east, and we were stopped by the one of these rebel groups and say, you can't go beyond this point. You should give all the materials to us. We said, no, we came to stay with you. We wanted to have, we want to see the people, and we want to work with them and see what kind of difficulties they face. And then we went to the government agent, and we took the government agent, and we took the leader of this rebel group, a woman, and we asked the security forces, the commanding officers, to come to this place, and we bring these 3 people and make a small consensus to work within a 3 months paradigm, to work with the people who affected from tsunami and conflict at that time. So it worked. It worked 6 months. We built a kind of a small fishery village without bribing anybody. Right? So it is a kind of a consensus. Whenever rebels see, they don't exploit the green movement resources. The government did so. Nobody questions about that. If we had any question, we immediately summoned the 3 groups and settled it within 2-3 hours, because we know that it's a kind of a armed game. If we delayed it, somebody will get killed. So we say that is a kind of a compromise and commitment and the consensus we did. And now also we see there are a lot of opportunities that we can work in that way.
Now, Sri Lanka was hit very badly in 2004 by the tsunami, like Thailand, Indonesia, and parts of India. What kind of recovery and rehabilitation programs was your organization involved in?
Within after the 2 hours of tsunami, it happened in something 9 o'clock in the morning. Nobody knows what kind of a disaster this was, and we were shocked. And what we did was we summoned our groups within 2 hours. That was some 3,000 youths working all over the country, like for our youth brigade program. And then we made 6 groups out of that. That was some 200 people sent with vehicles to the 6 districts, which was severely disastered. And then we within 24 hours we took a kind of a random analysis what has happened, what is the real needs of the people. So then we found that there were a lot of actors already present, but there is a big gap. The gap was like there were no people treating for the pregnant mothers, the women needs, special needs, and the children's need. So what we call, we had some resources in our organization at that moment. We used all the resources which we had for the environment conservation activities, we called to our donors and told that we are going to use this money for this activity. And we immediately brought we summoned some of the doctors, and we brought some of the medicines and the needs of the women and the needs of the children, and we immediately sent this to this what we call the discriminated marginalized groups. And that program was called the Gap Filling Relief. And then we expanded that for the 3 months. And when we slowly moved to the education, water, sanitation, and temporary resettlement. And then we thought we should take an advantage of this process. We were branded as a kind of a very noisy environment advocates. And we thought we should practice the green concept of rebuilding and reconstruction. And we asked lands from the government. The government was a little bit tricky, thinking that whether this group can do that. But we made a very nice 4 housing schemes in these devastated areas. That was our one of the achievement. We built 4 green villages. Whenever the people come and ask, we want to build houses, we said, no, we are not going to build houses, we want to build homes for the people. And we involved everybody into this process, and we were able to ended up with a kind of a community-owned, community-driven disaster resilience program. Still you can go and see these places, how we involve women, how we involve youth, and we build all building materials from those areas devastated. We brought them from their own territories except cement, and all these building materials were environmental friendly.
Do you have any disaster prevention programs in place?
Yes, we call it, the government has always programs to evacuate people. But we said that there should be a process, a policy should be developed to mitigate the disasters. So now we call it, we have one unit in the Green Movement called Disaster Information and Mitigation Unit. And in there we get people who are in a kind of a living in and around the disasters, to include of their disaster management planning. We call the community-driven disaster management plan. So now we were able to get all the stakeholders like government, UN agencies, and the community, good inclusive processes. At the moment, we have we are having with us that kind of a 50 village programs, community-driven, community-owned disaster management programs. So for that we work with the government and UN agencies. That relationship is going very well at this moment.
And such a program, is there any link with any programs that are regionally initiated?
Yes, we linked with some of the disaster resilience programs. One was like, it is called the Coastal Environmental and Disaster Prevention Program. It's a kind of a USAID started program in the beginning of tsunami. That is Thailand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and India is in that program. So that is one regional program. And also we have linked with some of the international institutions through the UN agencies to link up the South Asian programs, disaster-free South Asia. It's like ActionAid and UN agencies are there. So that's the 2 regional initiatives. And we are also linked with South and East Asian networks who are dealing with the tsunamis.
Well, that sounds very impressive. That's been very informative, very interesting, Mr. Suranjan. Thank you very much for all the information that you've given us.
Thank you very much for interviewing me and giving this opportunity for me. Thank you.